Hello, this is Alec Kerr, the film critic for the Conway Daily Sun, with my thoughts on the first episode of Community, NBC's new comedy following The Office. And based on the pilot episode, I have to say, this looks like it'll be a solid little comedy. And obviously pilot episodes are a little bit awkward as you're getting all the characters set up and trying to feel out the tone. But by the end of the episode, this definitely had me hooked, and I was interested to see how the rest of the series is going to play out. The lead of the show is Joel McHale, as a lawyer whose credentials might not be that real, so he has to head back to community college. Now he picks community college, and this specific community college in the series, because he's friends with the dean, and he thinks the dean can get him all the answers to all of his classes. Whether that plays out, I won't reveal, but the dean is played by John Oliver, who's very funny, and you probably recognize him from his spots on The Daily Show. And yeah, so Joel McHale, as a lead, I wasn't even sure I knew where he was from, because they were making all this like big deal in the ads of starring Joel McHale. I was like, well, who the hell is he? And then I, looked him up on IMDb and saw that he was on The Soup on the E! Network. And there I was like, oh, well, that explains it. I never watched The Soup because whenever I watched it, the host was so obnoxious and was so bad at delivering jokes that I just didn't care. And that would be why I didn't recognize him. So I was pleasantly surprised that Joel McHale was actually pretty good here and was able to deliver a joke well and actually kind of give a performance. So it was kind of like when Greg Kinnear left hosting The Soup to act in movies, and hey, turned out to be not just a good actor, but a great actor. Now, I'm not saying Joel McHale will turn into the next Greg Kinnear, but I'm just saying it's kind of a similar surprise and a similar background. The other surprise here is that Chevy Chase is back in a good way. And obviously Chevy Chase has kind of been the butt of a lot of jokes for the last decade, or plus decade actually. Because he made a lot of bad career choices and bad life choices, and people kind of forgot that back in the 80s he was very, very funny. So I'm glad to see him back in something of substance and something of value, and that he can still be funny. And it's kind of nice that Chevy Chase is in the cast, because Joel McHale kind of has a Chevy Chase persona. That kind of wisecracking shyster who's a smooth talker. And yeah, so the show even kind of gives a nod to the fact of that connection with Joel McHale being told by Chevy Chase that, you remind me of myself at that age. So it's nice that the show is even aware of that connection. The main romantic foil and comedic counterpoint to Joel McHale is played by Gillian Jacobs, and it looks like they'll have a nice kind of contentious, friction-based relationship, and that looks like it'll play out well. And Gillian Jacobs is kind of one of those people where you might recognize her. She hasn't done a lot of stuff, but you might recognize her face. You might just not be able to pin it down. She's been in, small roles in TV shows, and she was in the movie Choke as the character Cherry Daiquiri. I know a lot of people probably didn't see Choke, but she was pretty good in that, and she looks like she'll be pretty good here. The other major character that kind of stuck with me was played by Danny Pudi, and his character was just very funny, kind of this awkward, fast-talking guy, and yeah, I was really liked his character, and I'm interested to see what they do with that character. And there's a lot of other good characters with potential here, as the other students that Joel McHale's character has to go to school with. And yeah, it looks like it's gonna work, and it looks like Thursday night on NBC has fleshed itself out finally into a really solid lineup of comedy with 30 Rock, The Office, Parks and Recreation, and now this. It's like a nice solid 2-hour block of comedy. Really, what kind of brought it all together to me and just kind of crystallized that I'm going to like this show was there was a Breakfast Club theme that went throughout the show, and at the end they dedicated the show to John Hughes, and that little touch, that little nod to John Hughes and made me smile, and it was a worthy tribute by the end of the episode, because by the end of the episode, as I said, things had really come together. And I'd laughed out loud several times by the end, and was definitely won over by the characters and won over by the tone and the feel of the show. So I'm ready for more. So sign me up. Anyway, this is Alec, and keep watching.